good.
I think we're good.
Hey, you guys, welcome. We're here with Joey from Cirque de la Nuit. I can never say it.
Cirque de la Nuit.
Cirque de la Nuit. Joey's one of the performers at Cirque, and for those of you who don't know, Cirque is a local group. Could you call them an entertainment group?
Yeah.
Performance group?
Yeah, performance group.
Yeah.
I'd say we bring something special. So performance, entertainment, a little bit of crazy, a little bit of fun, a little bit of everything.
So, Cirque has been, was this like 10 years?
Somewhere within that vicinity, yeah.
About 10 years they've been doing shows in Calgary, and they're a big deal in our town. And Joey's been with them for the last...
since 2014.
So the last 5 years. And it's a pretty unique thing. This year we're at the Palace, and there's room for like 1,500 people.
Yes, there is.
And it's going to sell out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna. We're at 75-80% sold out right now.
Wow.
And I know that a bunch of tickets are normally, this is the last opportunity for people to get them before they're gone.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be a sold-out show, 1,500 people at the Palace, downtown, 8th Avenue, and the whole place becomes the show, doesn't it? It's just not like a stage show.
So it's not just a show or just the music. So we bring in a team early in the day. We're actually there from the AM until the AM, and we do deco throughout the venue. We're setting up a few different stations or sort of little spots where scenes happen. So this year's theme is Wondrous. So it's lightly based on Alice in Wonderland. So we're going to have an Absalom's Lounge where there's going to be sort of a tea party happening throughout the evening that people can come in and sort of see some of the characters interacting, as well as different roving characters, the Tweedles, which I'm going to be playing, and Alice sort of walking around and interacting with each other.
So you're hanging out with Alice?
Oh yeah, Alice and the Hatter and everybody running away from the Red Queen. That's going to be happening.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so basically everybody is part of the show. It's not like we're just sitting watching the show on stage. It's happening around us, right?
Exactly. So we have little tiny scenes that are planned out. So while we're roving, me and the Tweedles will be roving, and if we run into Alice or the White Queen, we have an interaction there, and that interaction has something to do with the story or the theme of the event. So the show happens, but only a few people, if you catch them in these interactions, will see these little stories play out a little differently. They'll see something here that applies to the story on stage. And so it's you get little nuggets of stuff all over the venue and all through the night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, you're like a full-time performer.
This is my full-time job. That's all I do is entertain and have fun. I like to tell people I pay my rent with giggles, because the more I make people giggle, the more I get to pay my rent.
Nice.
Yeah, and then so I do the shows like this. I do corporate events with a few different companies and Cirque Nuit, and I also do motivational speaking in schools.
Nice.
Yeah.
So high school?
I normally, so far, we usually end up in a lot of elementary schools, but we have done middle schools and high schools as well.
Wow.
The show changes a little bit for the older generations or the older kids, but
yes,
it's essentially the same show, but with the same message, but a little bit more posturing, and we bring a couple more cool props along for the ride.
For the older kids. Wow, motivational. So helping them to see themselves as more whole, complete people, or
what we normally so the show is a lot about teamwork, but we bring a lot of different concepts that we sort of connect to personally into that main theme. One of mine is like to follow your passion, and I reference sort of the things I've gotten into in the past, and how if I just tried to do things and did them on the side or just did them willy-nilly, I would have never gotten to where I am today. The only reason I was able to achieve certain things, and the only reason most people can achieve the greatness they want, is by really digging into their passions, really getting addicted to a concept or an idea and exploring it. And the more you explore something, the better you can get at it. And then also sharing that with your friends and sharing that with your team and with your community. Because if you're surrounded by people that build you up, then you can grow. Then you can achieve the things you want to. Yeah. I know. It's great.
It sounds like I gave a talk last night,
Really?
and to a group of people. It basically sounds like my talk last night.
Oh, see?
It really is. Yes, if we have
Yeah.
focus, we believe in what we're doing. If we're on purpose, if we believe we're making a difference, there's magic there.
Exactly.
And so you're teaching the kids that possibility.
Yeah, exactly. And we teach them through like examples, and we also share our circus acts. Some of the acts we do in our school show we're actually doing in the show this weekend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we tie in. We have a hat juggling act. So we bring on a volunteer and we do this partner juggling act where we're tossing hats in the air and putting them on each other's heads until one falls, and we stop everything and we point at it and we make reference that people are going to make mistakes. But mistakes just mean that we're trying. And if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying.
Yeah.
And then a mistake can just be the first step to a success.
Yeah.
And
So there's no such thing as a mistake.
no, there isn't. There's just wonderful little happenstances.
Yes, and they're all on the road to success.
Exactly.
Actually, the road is success. Napoleon Hill, who was a teacher of mine who's passed, and he said that success was the progressive realization of worthy goals. So, there's this idea that success is in getting there, and his thing was that success is actually not arriving, but the journey, and so which makes us both very successful.
We talk about how there's two types of things, especially in circus and in the different arts. There's certain people that will pick up juggling and they'll take their 3 balls and they'll throw them in the air and they'll get it just like that.
Yeah.
And then there's other people like myself where I take the 3 balls and I have to practice. I have to practice hard and I have to go over and I have to rinse, repeat, and continually do it over and over again until I get it. And when we say to the kids, it's like, well, which is better? Which is better for you? Which do you like more? And I always like when I have to practice. Because, when you pick up those balls and you juggle right away, you're like, cool, I juggled, sweet. What now? But for me, I pick up those balls and I struggle, and the journey to getting to that point where I can actually throw 3 balls and catch all 3, and when I get there, I accomplish something. I get that amazing moment of like celebration because I've done it finally, and then it stays with me. Then it's a part of me because of that journey.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty cool that you're doing that.
It's super fun too.
When you go to a school, do you have like a half an hour?
We do a 45-minute to an hour show.
Wow.
Yep.
With lots of message.
Oh, lots of message and a lot of fun circus stuff.
Nice. Do you get the kids on stage?
We don't get too many kids on stage, but we do bring up some children volunteers for a few different bits.
Yes.
Yeah, I get them to do a couple circus tricks with me. It's pretty fun.
At Cirque on the weekend, do sometimes the audience get involved?
We do a lot of audience participation off the stage,
Yes.
But not on the stage because of all of the really big acts that we're going to be bringing.
Okay.
But there's a lot of interaction with the audience. So, for instance, my Climb and Balloon act that we're bringing, at a certain point we'll be bouncing balloons on the audience or tossing balloons out into the audience, and then everyone gets to sort of participate and feel part of being on the stage or part of the show at that
It's a
point.
great room for that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So they go up into the balcony too, the balloons?
Yeah, we're still sussing out how exactly it's going to work because there's only so much room on the side stage for things, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a super room. It's probably, for this kind of a show, probably one of the nicest rooms in town. And
With the we got stage lighting, we have a wonderful sound system, and like a great big space for us to do
sound
big
system, or
things.
did you bring in?
I believe it's their sound system.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't really know for sure, mostly because I'm too busy working on things for the show. Yeah.
So how many months do you think goes into the preparation of this show?
I would say
Weeks or days or?
it's hard to say a timeline wise.
Yes.
It's more, I'd like to think of it as hours. So so far for me, I've probably spent in between 50 and 100 hours on it.
Nice.
Both in conceptualizing, run-throughs, actual rehearsals, sitting down and just shooting ideas back and forth, and just going and playing, and then big group dress rehearsals.
Yes.
But when you factor in that there's there's about 15 to 20 of us in the main cast, and then an extra 20 people that are helping in here and there and need to know things. And all of the time each of them puts in just for this show, it's in the thousands. Because if I'm putting in 100 and somebody else is putting in 50, it just, it's a lot of work.
A lot of work, yeah.
But it's a passion because, like, especially...
So it can't be just for the payday.
No. It's, well, having done this for a long time, it's really refreshing to be able to do a creative piece.
Yep.
A lot of times, and I love all the different pieces that I do and all the different work that I do. Sometimes I'm at corporate events for big staff parties, and those can be exciting in their own way.
Yes.
But it's all about the entertainment there. Whereas this, I get to bring a lot of my own concepts, my own ideas. I have a space to try new things and get creative with those new things, and also being able to work with a team that is strong and passionate about the project as well. So we all come together and all bring in all these ideas and then work long hours so we can create something beautiful.
Wow. You know what, my thought is, with all the work that goes into it, it would be great if you could take that show and, run 10 shows, and
yeah. Well,
if
one
you
of
had
the
audience, you could sell out 3 nights.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Wouldn't it?
Well, I think we're going to be trying to take this show to a few different venues through BC and Alberta over the coming months.
Nice.
But one of the things that makes this show a little different is we have little content pieces.
Yeah.
So we have the femme fatale piece, the battle piece, we have the tea party. And each of these pieces are in between 10 and 20 minutes. And these pieces, we get to perform again. So when Cirque gets contacted for different events, instead of bringing the full show, which is what we'd love to do, if they don't have the budget for it, but they still want Cirque to come, we can take these little tiny snippets of the show that are standalone pieces, and then we get to go and perform these things again.
You guys do corporate? Like the whole group does?
Well, yeah.
Oh, nice.
If the budget fits and we can make it work, we'd love doing that stuff.
Kelly was telling me that you guys do some work with the
LGBTQ. There's a lot of letters there, but I believe we're doing some Pride events this year in Calgary, and I believe in a few different spaces. I can't really. I work like 1 or 2 weeks in advance. Beyond that, it's on my calendar, and I'll figure it out then.
There's no sense
worrying about that far in the future. But we do a lot of different events.
Nice. Yeah. I didn't realize that till talking to Kelly about it, that it was, but I can see with all the work that goes into it, it's nice to be able to take that material, those costumes, and put them into, to different shows. And now, how many of the people do you think are actually full-time entertainers?
If I look at them, 1, 2, I think there's 3 to 5 of us, maybe. But even then, like, a lot of us have other work that we do. I know that I do full-time performance and only performance, but I know that other performers do 80% performing and then a couple side jobs too, just to save up a bit more money or whichever.
Pay the bills.
Yeah.
Feed the kids. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, great. So what are your plans for the future? You're going to do corporate? You're thinking of, you'd like to, where's the big time?
I would say, and that's an interesting question too, because I find the big time is more of a goal-based system. Like one of my performer friends goes down to the States every single year and works through a company in like Six Flags or Canada's Wonderland or some of those parks, doing the same show twice a day, 6 days a week. And it's a really good paycheck, and it's a wonderful experience too. But so is staying here.
Yes.
And last year I worked through a few companies, and I did shows nonstop all through the summer. I did expos and carnivals and different places, all from Halifax and PEI and through Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Nice.
And that's a lot of fun too. And so is like doing school shows, and so is doing corporate events, or so is all these different things. So I know that a few
fun if you like to entertain.
I know that a few people, that's their dream, Cirque du Soleil or whichever. But with that too, you don't sit in one space for very long. You're far from home.
Yeah.
And
You're on the
far
road.
from the people you really care about. And,
Yeah.
you know, I lived on the road for a lot of last summer, and I kind of live on the road right now through school shows and stuff. And that can lose its novelty after a while. I mean,
know.
sometimes the pay is really great, but, you know,
Yeah.
life is about experiences more than it is about money. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
No kidding.
I would say, but for me personally, I've learned to sort of adapt my goals. So in the last few years, I went from just doing shows with 1 or 2 companies to working with 4 or 5 different companies. And who knows, maybe next year I'll do Cirque Nuit all year long. Or maybe next year I'll just do Cirque Nuit on the weekends through here and there, and then school shows here. And I find that as long as I'm entertaining and I'm having an impact on my audience and the people that watch me, that's success for me.
Nice.
That's happiness for me. So
Nice. So, what was your inspiration to get into being a performer?
I've always sort of been a performer. You know that little
the class
kid.
clown?
Yeah, that kid in elementary school that was always kind of talking when he shouldn't be talking and goofing off.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I was in drama from when I was a little boy all through high school and.
In
And-
Lethbridge.
Yeah, in Lethbridge.
Yeah.
And then I got into fire spinning when I was 18 or 19. And I've always been the catalyst amongst friends. So I'm the person that I get excited
Yeah.
about stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's get together, let's do this.
Yeah.
And so when I started doing that, then I got a bunch of my friends into it. And then I created a community around me with a few different people. And then that led to something else, which led to something else, which led to someone saying, hey, come and do this at a show for us. Okay. And then that led to more and more professional performing. And then, you know, after I had played with a certain lifestyle and a certain prop for long enough, then I wanted to try new things. And so I went and bought something else and I explored a different prop. And now I'm a multi-talented performance artist.
Music?
Nope.
No.
I have 2 brothers, and my little brother is a musician.
Yes.
My older brother's the photographer, and he's got style, and I'm just the goofy one that likes to act in front of people.
Okay.
Yeah, we're quite the trio of boys.
And do you ever do some stuff together?
Yes, actually, when we first started, we all fire spun together, and then
Nice.
yeah, and then we transitioned into a few different spaces, and my little brother sometimes comes out and fire spins. My older brother takes a lot of photos. He's actually going to be shooting the show this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Professional photographer now. So
Nice.
yeah,
Well, that's great. So they're part of the. Will your younger brother be there?
I hope so.
Yes.
If he can get it off of work, I'm sure he'll be there.
They live here.
Little brother's down in Lethbridge,
Okay.
but my big brother lives in Calgary.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So it just evolved then.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Naturally, just one thing to another thing to another thing.
Nice. So we have a vision and a goal, and we've created these meditation spaces. You're sitting on one of my meditation stools.
It's very comfortable
Isn't
in
it?
here.
Isn't it comfortable? And that's a stool. And so tell me, do you meditate?
I don't.
And,
A short attention span.
well, that's better for meditating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. Do you mind?
No, of
So
course.
imagine that meditating has nothing to do with attention span. Because I'll just follow, your sentence on that, and that a lot of folks actually think that there's something to do, when actually there's nothing to do. The only thing to do is to let go. So if you're not a master of your mind, who is?
I would say I wouldn't say I'd meditate then. I would say I find my spaces of relaxation. So I have a hot tub in my building, and a sauna, and when I go in there, that's my space.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, or I have a hammock
So-
down my
so-
balcony, and that's
I'm just going to go down the road a little further.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
and I forgive me if you
No
feel a
worries.
little uncomfortable, but it's something that we found that. I mean, there's people who meditate because wow, they're doing it. They really get the benefit of it. They see that if they're meditating, they have the possibility to drop into that space of nothingness, to actually get beyond thought. So it's not about relaxing really. It's about become a master ourselves in a way, and by surrendering or letting go, so power is in the moment.
Yeah.
Right? It's not in the past, it's not in the future. When you're performing, you're present. Right? You're really there. And the juice of the performance is that you feel present. And time stops in a way. Everything is not. There's nothing that's happening except the performance. Is that true?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I find
maybe not all of the time, but
yeah.
But when you're right on, you're right on.
Yeah, you're in the zone, as you could say.
Totally in the zone, and magic happens there. We call it magic because it's where the real power is in the moment. Most of us are living in the past or in the future. We're afraid of something that might be happening, or some real or some imagined future, and because none of us really know
what's going to happen.
What's going to happen, and fear is generally imagined, bullshit about the future, and regret is imagined story of the past, and the same thing about excitement. We're excited about like Saturday night because you have a vision of what was going to happen.
There's a potential of like a certain thing happening.
Yeah. But I'll bet that the most exciting thing about it performing is being present, and then there's that feeling after of accomplishment. But I think that really, it's like, do you ever ski?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Not for a couple of years, but
triple black diamond run.
I doubled to black diamond for me, but
so
even that's
black
scary.
Diamond, you got to be present, like right on, and that's the excitement of being there. Well, what happens with meditation is in a way kind of the opposite, although you get to the same place. With meditation, we let go of thought, and we become conscious of thought. When we're in performing or on the double black diamond run, we're not really so conscious of the fact that we've let go of thought, that we're totally present, and we're not thinking. As soon as we're thinking, we're not there anymore. We're in the thought, which is generally about the future or the past, even if it's just the minute future, and so being totally present is the exciting, I think, part of performing, but not so easy to identify because it's not the language we talk. So I think that what people love to come and watch is you guys are all really going to be so present in costume. You become the character. You become there's no more Joey.
Yeah. I feel like the Tweedledee is a little part of me, but yeah, there's. If I wasn't a goofball, they wouldn't have cast me there.
No, well, I suppose that it is. So that's why I love meditation. Is that we actually get the possibility to disappear out of the character that we've created for ourselves. Because, David is a character, Joey is a character, and we have all these. Identities that we carry around and we assume, but when we're in meditation we can let go of all of that. So that's our vision. That's our purpose, is helping people to create meditation spaces so that they can connect with spirit, connect with the oneness, connect with this amazing power that makes things happen on the universe and in the universe and on the planet. And it's a bit of a lofty goal, but it's we envision lifting the vibration of the planet. I would say your show is high vibration.
Oh yes.
Do you know
I would totally agree.
And people are going to come out of there lifted up. They're going to feel good about themselves, about what they saw, about
and that's part of our goal too, is to have an impact on our audience and an impact on the people.
A positive, uplifting impact.
We want to share an experience with somebody, or give somebody an experience, or create a memory. And like that's something that's always sort of resonated with me, is creating a circumstance where somebody can have a change. Or a positive change in their life.
It's funny because I've only really been twice. Once at the Dickens, and once at the old back alley, which is called
the Marquee.
And I remember both of those shows. Those had an effect on me. And I think that's one of the reasons I wanted somebody to come from this show because I think it's what the energy that's put in is a high vibration energy, and somebody, if not all of you, somebody who's the inspiration behind everything has got a responsibility to carry that vision, carry that high vibration, and bring it into the community, and I think lift us all. So it's pretty. I think that maybe folks don't realize that they're going to, it's a spiritual show. They're going to get lifted up.
No, I like that concept. I like the idea that, especially as performers, that what we do is affect people. And you can go and watch something on YouTube, and that's not going to affect you the same way as coming to a show and experiencing somebody in front of you performing
live,
then looking over and catching you in the eye and winking.
Yeah,
there's something special about just having those tiny moments that build something.
And there's a theme of Down the Rabbit Hole that is Alice in Wonderland, which is a whole theme that what we're living isn't what we think it is. I mean, the whole story of Alice is that, she went to another world, and she was not in Kansas anymore. and we all have the possibility to create our worlds the way we want to here, and if we take charge of the story.
Exactly.
And so Alice in Wonderland is really an amazing analogy of life. Have you studied the story?
I've read the story. It's been quite some time.
Yes.
I've read a lot into my characters and sort of like how they interact with each other, and also sort of the impact we wanted to present to our audience and to the different characters around, and also just sort of like we're that comedic relief. The Tweedles are, as I said earlier, they're the clowns. So it's and like if I were to get a little deeper into it, it's the every time something happens, you should be able to laugh at something. Everyone needs a little bit of comedy, a little bit of silliness in their life in order to like progress, in order to feel good. And if you don't allow space for you to be yourself to be silly, then what are you doing?
Yes. Yeah. Well, good for you. I think it's going to be an amazing evening for
I think
a lot of people, and if it, the possibility of uplifting lots of folks too. They're going to walk out of there like with, wow, that was really cool. Because of all the effort and love that you put into it. Would you say there's love in the show? Yeah.
If there wasn't love and passion in the show, we wouldn't have much of a show.
No, that's right. Well, I guess that's the beauty of a one-time show as well. It's not like we're going to see it for the 60th time. This is not.
It's also why we're trying so hard to bring so many new things into it too. We want to, especially because Cirque has been around for so long, we want to bring interesting new things for the people who have seen it before.
So there's some other outside talent coming, isn't there? Tell us about.
So a good friend Justin Dale is coming from Toronto. He has family in the city, but he's a world-renowned. I think at the World Seer Championships he won them. So he's a very talented seer wheel artist. We have
a seer?
Seer wheel. So a seer wheel is a 5-6 foot big metal hula hoop, I guess you could say, that you stand in and spin in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you envision like a coin spinning and somebody standing in that coin, that's what it is.
Nice.
Yeah, and then there's, I know Futurecast is playing in the evening, which we're all excited about. LaRouge is in from Lethbridge, and they have some very talented international performers that are coming and performing for the evening. And I feel bad because I can't remember everybody.
That's okay.
But if you look at the bill,
what time does it start?
I believe it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, and then till 2. Yeah.
6 hours. And there's pretty much continuous show the whole time, isn't it?
Yes, there will always be stuff happening. Yeah. So there's a spot in the evening that's very dedicated for the stage show and the music for the stage show. Yeah. And that's the main show and the main act, but there will always be things happening in and around the stage. Freak Motif is coming in and playing, and they have some interesting, fun plans.
Deanne is with them, isn't she?
No. Yeah, Deanne is going to be part of the main Cirque show.
Yes.
And I believe maybe something else.
Okay.
It's hard for me to say, mostly because I've been so focused on the
Freak
show.
Motif is Allison? Oh, Amy.
Yeah.
Amy's. Do you know Amy Thiessen?
It sounds familiar.
Okay.
It rings a bell, but
She's in.
really bad
Is
at
she playing with
names.
them this year? We don't know. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. How many entertainers do you think altogether?
Altogether, I think we have, including the cast, the crew, the DJs, Freak Motif, I think there's about 100, 110.
Huge troop.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of people.
Taking that show on the road.
Well, I mean, Freak Motif has 6 to 10 different performers.
Yes.
And then backstage crew, rigging, lights, stage manager, that adds up pretty quick. Other roving entertainers.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big project, and
Nice.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Good. Well, good for you. I think it's great that you're able to do this full time. I think it's great you've chosen to entertain in schools where you're uplifting kids and helping them, to see their potential. And I look forward to seeing you on Saturday nights.
Oh,
Doing-
if I see you in the crowd, I'll wink at you. I might do a few silly moves first, but
All right. Good. Well, I'm sure it's going to be fun.
It
But
is.
I appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
And
I'm happy I was able to.
Yeah, visiting with us today and sharing about the show and your enthusiasm for it. Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Come to the show. It's going to be amazing.
Where are the tickets on sale?
I believe you can get them online at ShowPass. If you go to the Cirque Nuit Instagram page, the link is in their bio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Cirque du Louis Instagram, but probably also their Facebook page.
I also know that we have a promotion now with the costume shop,
Yes.
where you'll receive a certain amount off your ticket if you go and do some costume shopping there. And one of the things about Cirque events is we love it when everyone participates.
Everyone
with
dresses
us.
up. Yeah, this is more. Yeah.
It's a theme event where it's not just the ones on stage. We all get to be a little silly.
Yeah, everybody
Hello.
can dress up for Cirque. So the costume shop actually is right over here in 42nd Avenue.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's right across the street from
Yeah,
here.
it's literally just right over here, very, very close. So drop into the costume shop. They're friends of ours, and pick up your outfit for Cirque. Yeah. So you can buy tickets there, kind of at a bit of a deal. Or something?
I don't know exactly. I know that there's a promotion, and the promotion's on the Instagram page. If you go there, you can find out all the details you need.
Good. Well, we'll tag this
Excellent.
on Instagram because this other. That's Instagram.
Yeah,
All
this
right.
one.
Okay. Thanks, you guys. Love you lots. And follow us on YouTube and subscribe. We'd love if you do that. Cheers, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.